The latest in tech suit innovation. Frictionless fiber construction. Surface lift technology. Endo compression cage. Seamless exo shell. Tier Benzo. Battleborn.
and welcome to Deep End Live. My name's John Mason. Thank you so much for joining us here for the final day of the British National Diving Cup. What a weekend it has been. If you've missed out on all the action so far, you're in for a real treat today. This show aims to bring you all the best elite swimming, para-swimming and diving action from across the UK. Later on in the year, in April, we're going to be heading up to Glasgow for the British Swimming Championships and of course that British Para International Swimming Meet. But first, we started down here in beautiful Plymouth for the British National Diving Cup. And I tell you what, it has been an exciting one. This show is your chance not just to catch up with the live sporting action in the pool behind me, but of course get up close and personal with some of your favourite athletes, get to know them a bit better, and hopefully have a whole lot of fun right here in our brand new studio. Look at this. It's been awesome. Up here on the board, you might notice a few things. We've had a few competitions going ourselves. Up the top is our Best of Brits. Anyone who has taken home a gold medal this weekend gets their photo up there, a signed picture. Well, joining Chris and I, because we are, of course, part of the Best of British, I think. Down here, of course, you've got the Duck Challenge. You'll see more on that later, but all you need to know so far is that Grace Reed is way out in front on 34. That's going to make more sense in a bit, but before we get to that, let's take a look at what happened yesterday. We had 4 new gold medalists. So first up, of course, was Dan Goodfellow. He had a cracking performance in the 3-meter springboard final. It was his first outing on that board at a major meet like this, and to take home the gold was absolutely incredible. Second up, another surprise and brilliant performance by Gemma MacArthur. She took the 10-meter platform. It came down to that final dive on the edge of your seat. It was incredible stuff to watch. The whole atmosphere in here, everyone in the crowd holding their breath, but she managed to take that gold home, so it was awesome to see. Next up, first of all, Tom and Maddie, their first outing at a big major like this as a new partnership. Fantastic performances by both. Their synchronization was amazing. Some stuff to work on. They both told me in the studio after their event, but they were both happy and managed to take home the championship. So pretty awesome stuff from them. We're going to be seeing both of them later on today in the 10-meter as well. Finally was the women's 3-meter springboard synchro, Grace and Kat. Super strong duo. They had an amazing performance out there. I mean, super happy to start their dives and start their season so strong. It was wonderful to see that happen. But that was yesterday. Today is a new day. So let's take a look at what's going to be happening throughout this afternoon's broadcast. So today there are 2 events, our final 2 finals. Final 2 finals. First up, we have the women's 3-meter final. That is going to be beginning very soon at 3:30. And then we're finishing with our men's 10-meter platform final at 4:20. So make sure you stick around for both of them. Some of the best divers in the world are going to be doing their thing for your viewing pleasure. But before we get to that, let's have a little bit of fun. I'm being joined in the studio by 2 very special guests. We've got James Eatley and Yona Knight Wisdom. Thanks for coming down to Deep End Live, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, how's the weekend been for you so far? It's been pretty awesome, right?
I mean, it's been a bit of a up and down. There's been highs and lows. I mean, I was very happy with my 1 meter. Came second behind Ross. Just missed. I mean, he just pipped me on that last dive, so that was a bit frustrating. But then, yeah, we actually did a bit of synchro too, which was a lot of fun and nice to mix that up. But unfortunately, I ended up falling in on that last dive, which wasn't great. And then made it through to the final 3-meter, and then had a bit of a disappointing final. So there's been highs and lows.
Highs and lows for you, James. Yeah. I know you mentioned the synchro there. You're working with Yona on that one. I've got to say, I know you had a few fluff ups there, but that was actually one of my highlights watching you guys come in because it was unexpected. I wasn't expecting to see this partnership. How did that happen?
Yeah, the synchro was a lot of fun. I mean, we were literally just playing around one time in Edinburgh after I just moved up there, and we decided to give it a go at Scottish Nationals, and it went pretty well there, so we decided to try again here. Unfortunately, it didn't quite work out, but you know, for us it was all about just getting extra reps in and just doing a few extra dives in competition under that pressure, and we had good fun whilst doing it. And
everyone's sort of been saying that this is the start of the season, of course, so there's still a lot of things to sort of work through. So sort of looking forward at the 2019 season, what are your hopes individually and sort of together as a team?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a few Grand Prix later in the year in Canada and LA, which GB are going to, so hopefully get on those teams. But beyond that, we've got Europeans in August and Worlds in July. But we've also got other nationals in in end of May, I think it is.
Yeah,
which
I
is the
think it is
qualification
May.
for
I'm
that,
pretty sure
around
it is
that time.
May. Yeah.
Which will
Obviously,
be
we can't-
in Edinburgh, where
Yeah.
we train, so that'll be
Obviously, we
good.
can't compete internationally in synchro, which is a shame. So I'm just focusing on my individual season and hopefully going towards the World Championships and diving well out there.
Well, fingers crossed for both of you guys. I know it's been brilliant watching you guys dive this weekend. Start of a season, I'm sure we're going to see plenty more. I know if you haven't noticed, ladies and gentlemen, look, we got the cutest baby photos up here. This is James.
Still can't eat properly.
Look, still can't eat. I tell you what, you look a lot cuter there. We got Yona there behind James as well. Super cute with that teddy bear. I don't know if you can see this. I'm going to bring it out for you all. There's Yona. Look at you, little teddy
That
babies.
was a long old time ago.
He's still got that
long,
teddy
long
bear.
time
I've
ago.
grown a lot since then.
Well, guys, look, it's been brilliant having you in, but before we go, we do need to get you to take part in our duck challenge because, of course, all of our divers who are coming into chat are doing this. So basically, I'll break it down for you. We're going to bring this up here, and you guys are going to get 20 seconds on the clock each to move as many over into this box using nothing but your thumb and forefinger, okay? 20 seconds. James, do you want to go first?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
I've been seeing this. I've
All
been
right, so
practicing.
Grace is way out in front still on 34. So get down here. I'm going to put 20 seconds. He's
on, James.
warmed up. We love that, like a true professional. 20 seconds on the clock. James, your time starts
Let's go.
now. It's going to go quick. You're going to have
Come on,
to move
James, come on,
faster.
come on, come on. Oh,
Focus.
boy, you can't do that. Come on.
Concentration. Keep it
on.
moving.
That's not fast enough. Come on.
I think Yona's trying to balk you. All right. Keep it going. Keep it
Come
going.
on, James,
keep it
keep
going.
going.
5 seconds left.
on.
4, 3,
Get there,
2,
come on.
You're going to have to move faster. Stop.
Oh, I didn't end up.
Oh, no.
No chance. Absolutely not having that. There's no way.
I need to adjudicate this. That does not count. I hate
Absolutely
to
not.
break it to you. There you go. Say. No, it's okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15,
it's not
16,
good.
17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27.
Right.
You know what? That was pretty terrible, but you got what I got. So
really?
we're kind of like that. Write your score on that. We're going to put it up there on the leaderboard. But next up, Yona, is your turn.
I've got.
How do you reckon you're going to do? Do you reckon you're going to beat this one?
Adrenaline.
Your heart pumping.
I've got adrenaline.
You know, everyone's been saying this coming in. This is just as high pressure as the dive. 3, 2, 1, go, Yona! Time is ticking.
Lightning fingers.
You got 34 to get on top of the board. You got to get 28 to beat me and James. Keep it going, fast. All right, you're over halfway. You're almost there. You're almost there. Come on, he's got big hands. You see, they're so fiddly. 3, 2, 1, stop!
That one went in. Come on. Come on.
Oh,
Come
you
on.
know what? I'm gonna have to give him that one. I'm not really. I was just winding James up. Okay, 2, 4, 6, 9, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36! 36! Ladies and gentlemen, we have a new leader. Give me 5.
Thank you very much.
36. Oh, my heart is going. The guest.
Come on,
The
the
guest. The guest is taking the leaderboard at the British Nationals. 36. You get your score up there. You get it up on top. Guys,
Come on the bottom.
we'll get them up. Thank you so much for that, and thank you so much for coming in. Of course, we're going to say farewell to these guys. We'll see them throughout the season, but for now, we're going to check out Grace is competing. I caught up with her the other day, so let's see what she had to say. Grace, big year for you this year, but it's not the first one. Massive last couple of years, world medalist, Europeans, World Series medals. Sum it up for us.
Yeah, been amazing. I think it's hard to put into words when I hear it all sort of listed out like that. It's a little bit scary. Yeah, it's just been amazing, the experiences I've taken from that, and obviously trying to use that going into this season for sure.
Yeah, and last year was obviously, a bit of a shock for you as well, having an injury, not competing at the British last time we were here this year.
No.
What's that road to recovery been like?
Yeah, it's been tough. I mean, I still get niggles now and again, but as is the way of an athlete, to be honest. I think turning up here and people being like, oh, you're the crutches girl. So it's nice to have come back and not have crutches this time for sure.
Of course. And I mean, you came back, had a very successful year last year. Was that in your head, sort of going into it? You were obviously aiming for it. Did you think those achievements were going to come to life?
I knew it was possible. I think as is always the way with diving, it's staying fit and healthy is paramount. And again, starting off the season injured is just not the great way to do it. But again, I think having that injury and sort of being more determined and more hungry to get started and go and prove everyone wrong, I think was a real sort of bonus to having that at the early start of the year.
Yeah. And I mean, the early start of this year, obviously a better way to start it, a training camp in Rio.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, mainly just the tan was the bit I loved, genuinely. It's really bad. No, it was amazing. I think it's always nice to go away somewhere sunny as well, but go away and not have any cooking, any cleaning, like just go away and think about diving. I think sometimes, particularly in the long season, where it's just training and you're not competing, it can get really monotonous. So it was just so good to go away and just do something different. So good.
So good. I mean, everyone seemed to love it, and everyone looked like they had so much fun out there as well.
Yeah.
There for the diving, but
Absolutely.
Did you get outside and manage to do anything?
Yeah, like we went exploring a couple of days. We went to Sugarloaf Mountain, which I didn't manage to do when we were there for the games. So yeah, and I think as well we must have had like 18 acai bowls when we were there, which became a bit of a habit. But it was amazing just to sort of experience it and be a little bit more local this time as well was awesome.
And the team, I mean, we sort of everyone follows you guys all on social media and stuff, and we see how tight-knit the squad is, and everyone truly, genuinely seems to be enjoying themselves as part of that squad.
Yeah.
What's it like being involved in that, sort of such a family?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds really cliche, but they genuinely are family. Like, I mean, we've grown up together. We really have. When, kids are maybe away on school trips, we'll be away on a diving trip, and you spend all your time with them. So, and like siblings, we rub each other up the wrong way, shout and bicker, but that's really healthy. And we've just got such a great support network, and it's just so lovely to be a part of.
Oh, it's really sweet to watch. I love it. It really is, though. I love it. And obviously, looking forward to this competition. What are your sort of hopes for? What are we focusing on going into it?
Yeah, going into this sort of as a warm-up for the year. I'm not expecting to sort of set the world on fire just yet, but been working really hard in the off-season and made a lot of technical changes, so without getting too boring. Yeah, I'm hoping to put in a really solid performance over the next 3 days. I've got a busy weekend, 3 events, so yeah, hoping for a consistent and sort of good start to the year.
Well, fingers crossed for it.
Thank you.
Just before we go, I've got one last question. You have
God.
a lot of youngsters. Don't worry. I'll be gentle.
Okay.
A lot of youngsters out there sort of look at you and look up to you as a role model. What's the biggest piece of advice you would sort of give to one of these youngsters that is looking at following your journey?
I was genuinely thinking about this the other day, and I think the biggest thing I would say is trust yourself. I think a lot of people nowadays have a lot of self-doubt, and it's so hard being young in this day and age and social media and everything. Trust yourself. If you're great at playing music, go and play music. If you want to try diving, try it. Just give it a try.
You know what? You heard it here first. That was really good advice. I need to take that.
Okay.
Thank you so much for joining us.
No
and
worries.
Good luck with the competition.
Thanks very much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
There you have it. That was Grace Reed, ladies and gentlemen, a fantastic diver. She's competing in this 3-meter springboard, her final event of the weekend. We're going to have to wait and see how she does. She's been diving pretty well, though, hasn't she, boys?
Definitely.
So, yeah.
I think all the girls had a bit of a tough prelim this morning, but there's some good dives in there. But so yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it goes this afternoon.
Absolutely. Now, speaking of diving, your competitions are over. You guys have been in that pool a lot this weekend. How are we feeling as we come out the back of the competition?
I think if we're being completely honest with you, we probably say we're both a little bit disappointed. Me, if I'm speaking for myself, I'd say yesterday in the individual, I really didn't show what I would have liked to have shown. So I have come out today and kind of been a bit like, bit of a frustrating weekend, but it's the start of the season, so a new list for me in both the synchro event and the individual. So it's kind of, first run out on that. Let's take it as a starting point and just hopefully we'll improve over the rest of the year.
Yeah, and I mean, you guys come into a competition like this, we were seeing it. It wasn't just you guys, there were a lot of people that it was up and down, like you never knew which way it was going to go. Is that kind of normal for this time, coming back into competition after that bit of a break?
Yeah, I'd say it is. In general, diving is a hit and miss sport. You can have days where you absolutely smash it and then days where everything goes wrong and you're not sure why. But especially when you're in a prelim event that's got 30 odd divers, it's half an hour in between each dive. You've got to cool down, warm back up, do your drills, then go back up and you've got one dive. And then again, cool down, warm back up. So it's very different to say a final that's got 8 people in.
Yeah.
And I think that also plays into the fact that, you can do your great dives, but actually sometimes it just doesn't go to plan in those prelims, and you've just got to get through the morning so that you can show what you're made of in the afternoon.
And I mean, we're sort of seeing that evolution. Everyone's sort of been saying that how many entries there were here at this competition, and it was massive for the girls, it was massive for the boys, sort of the biggest we've seen at a British competition, which I think is great for the sport. It's showing that the sport's growing, but then is that going to be a different adaptation that you boys are going to have to take in your training to learn how to deal with those things?
To be honest, it's almost a good thing, because when you go away to some events, the World Cup, the World Championships, Grand Prix, there's always a lot of people there. So if you can get used to doing it here at your British champs, then hopefully you can get used to doing it at the international events too.
Yeah. I mean, but that hard work as well, with you guys focusing and you guys working together so closely, like in Sheffield.
Yeah.
Do you push each other on? Is this something that you guys are like, are you super competitive with each other?
Yeah, I think I'd say we push each other, but also in like a supportive way. It's like, come on, oh, you've done that, all right, I can do that, and then I've done that, oh, you can do that. Do you know what I mean? So
I think sometimes when you can see each other's heads going down and you're thinking, you're all right, you're diving well, you're just having a bad day, like, it's quite good to have that to bounce off each other, so that is nice, because we both can get a little bit negative about ourselves at times, so if the other person's supporting you through it, then that's great.
I love that, boys. I love that. Now, I know the competition's about to get started, so we've got to finish off with our competition as well. I know you boys have been training hard, so let's get you over here.
Right.
It's our little duck game. You're going to be brilliant, mate, I promise. They've been training for this. Can you believe that? I can't. Oh, your thumb's ready. You got 20 seconds on the clock. On my count. 3, 2, 1, go. Come on, Jack. You've got this. Show some support, Ross.
Keep going. Come on, Jack. Come on, Jack. Faster. That's it.
Still
nice.
high pressure. Keep going
that's
faster.
it.
Keep calm, but move quickly. That was Yona's tactic. Seemed to work. So Yona got 36, top of the leaderboards. You got to do that. 3, 2, 1, stop. Doesn't count. Okay, so here we go for Jack. You got 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. It's not in front, but it was pretty good. Oh, the competition star behind us. Look at that. Here we go. The girls coming out to parade. You get your score up there and let's get you done quickly, Ross. All right, you got 20 seconds. You ready? 3, 2, 1, go. You got it. Focus. Keep calm. Keep collected. I get too stressy, but everyone that stayed calm has done well. Ross is looking like a minute. Like a minute. He's screaming. 5 seconds. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. No, stop. I don't think you did it. We're going to have to go. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. You know what? Ross, an anthem has started. The anthem has started. Ross, you need to get your 30 up there. Okay, so get this. You've got to get 30 on there. You're part of it. Unfortunately, you won't be taking home our prize. Yona's looking like he's going to get that, but we've still got a couple more to come. Boys, it has been such a pleasure having you here. Just before you go, before you leave this weekend, ones to watch in this competition. Give us your picks.
I think the two, I mean, I'm going to give our girl a shout out, Yasmin Harper. She's up and coming, but I'm really liking the look of the two London girls. So they're both young and up and coming, and they're both diving really well. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they get on in this competition.
Yeah,
brilliant.
I'd second that. But also, you know, you've got Grace and Catherine, who are kind of your veterans in this. So I think it's definitely going to be a fight for the medals. It's going to be exciting.
Yeah, but that's what we love, right?
Yeah,
Makes for a very
absolutely.
interesting competition. Boys, such a pleasure. I've loved having you down here at Deep End Live this weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, Jack and Ross Haslam. But for now, it's going to be up to the commentary with Bob Ballard because we've got the women's 3-metre springboard final. See you in a bit.
Thank you, John, very much indeed, and welcome to the final session on day 3 of the British National Diving Cup 2019, live from the Plymouth Life Centre. And we've decided that one gold medalist is not enough. We need to have a gold medalist and a silver medalist combined here. So we've actually told Chris Mears to take a running jump match. He will return later, don't worry, for the 10-metre. And we have replaced him with his erstwhile synchro partner in the 3-metre. Hello to Jack Law.
Hello there.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm great, thank you.
Well,
yeah.
I'll say how great you are, because yes, it didn't quite go to plan, did it?
No, not the best. Nah, everything felt a bit off really, and I'm quite disappointed in myself because, to be honest, I've had the best preparation I've had in a very long time. It's actually the first national championships I've competed in. I don't even know how many years now because I've been injured in the off season and stuff and haven't been ready. Last year it was ankle surgery. The year before that it was wrist problems. So it's been a while since I've competed at nationals. It's very difficult coming into an event when everyone expects you to win, like you just said.
Well, there is that expectation now because of the fact that you are Olympic silver medalist.
Exactly,
you come in here and they go, well, Jack just needs to stand on the board and that's it.
Yeah, so it's a different type of pressure that you have to deal with, and it's very, 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 very difficult to replicate that in normal training circumstances. And things just didn't go my way yesterday, and that's okay because you know, a lot of people see me be so successful at Commonwealth Games and Europeans and Worlds and stuff, but a lot of people don't see the times where it doesn't go so successful.
And it is early in the year, so
yeah, of course,
January into February is quite hard,
isn't it? We've got the World Series in the start of March in Japan and China, so I've got another month to prepare and everything. So, you know, if I was out here scoring 550, I'd be a little bit worried because there's still a lot of time left. And the big one this year is the World Championships in South Korea, the first time to qualify for the Olympic Games. So, yeah, I'm not too phased, but obviously I am upset. It does hurt to not do so well. That's the lowest I've scored since 2012, so, you know, it's been a pretty bad competition. But
well, let's park that. Let's not talk about that. Let's talk about the women. Let's talk about what's going to happen with the women's equivalent event coming up now. It'd be easy for me to say it's Catherine Torrance against Grace Reed. How do you see it?
Yeah, of course. You know, there's our two top females at the moment, or, you know, the standings would say anyway. But, you know, you've got Scarlett in there, who honestly has done some amazing dives. This morning I saw a front 3.5 pike was one of the best I've ever seen a British woman compete at forward 3.5 pike. And I just want to see those girls like really standing up and hopefully, like, giving them a run for their money, because this competition, it's not solid. It's not like a Tom Daly is going to win, for example, or you'd think a Jack Law, but yeah, everything's up for grabs, and I really want to see everyone go for it as hard as they can. All
right, let's see what Kaylee Sinclair has up her sleeve. Well, she had a sleeve. Back 2.5 somersaults for Plymouth Diving to open things up for the women's 3-metre final.
Oh, what a lovely opening dive. It was very nice. A little bit of head movement on the start. You can see her head's a little bit high. I was a little bit worried, but actually the finish is fantastic and a great way to start off the competition.
Well, 2.8, 58.8 is not a bad return, is it? 7's right across the board. So Kaylee off to a very good start. When we get to the men's, by the way, it's Plymouth against London. It'll be very interesting in the 10-metre because I think there's 4 from Plymouth and 5 from London, or the other way around, I can't remember, but it's basically a Plymouth against London shootout for the 10-metre later. City of Sheffield get a look in here, though, with Yasmin Harper going for her inward 2.5 somersaults with 2.7 in degree of difficulty.
Just dropping it a slight bit short there. Beautiful form on the come out, though. Look at that pike out there. Not quite the rotational speed, maybe a little bit pushed back from the board. So that makes it just a little bit harder to squeeze that finish round, but overall, 6.5, it's okay. Probably not what she was wanting, though.
51.3, the finishing score on that one. Now, here's somebody, pretty much all the rest will have a dive list of 3 or above, and that's the case for Maria Papworth-Burrell of Dive London. A big dive comes in 2, forward 3.5, but before that we get to the inward 2.5, which you'll start with.
Wow. See, Maria, she's unfortunately rolled that over, but this is a dive that a lot of women struggle with. A lot of women really struggle to generate that force that you need into the pike shape to get that 2.5 somersaults going. And she made that dive with ease. Obviously, she's buried it over and she's a little bit gutted with that, but what a fantastic top.
It's a very tough opener, though. You'd think that maybe the way she put it further down the dive list?
Maybe, but she's so talented at that you know, it comes easy. It's very natural for her, so it's a very, very good opener. It's a standing one, no hurdle steps, so you don't have to worry about that with the nerves, and it's just a shame that she's gone over, but I've seen her do it so much better than that, and it's amazing to see such talent coming through.
Well, Yasmin did it, Maria did it, and Millie's going to do the same thing. Inward 2.5 to open up 3.0, and Scarlett Mew Jensen and Grace Reed, in fact, Catherine will all do it as well, so
very common opener.
It's the favourite dive.
Now you can see what I'm saying about Maria's there. Millie has struggled a little bit there, not quite as quick as Maria's, but, you know, not a bad dive, just a little bit slow, which makes that entry very, very difficult to get out of. And she's landed in a bit of almost like a pike wedge kind of area, and just hasn't quite got those scores that she wanted from the judges.
Tell me how impressed you are with this young lady.
I've never seen her before this, and honestly, she's turned up and she made the 1 metre final. Fantastic work there. She's very, very strong, very, very quick, and extremely elegant as well. It's very, very good to see. I don't even know how old she is.
14.
Wow. Fantastic.
Forwards 2.5.
Look how early she's coming out of that. She's got so much strength and such good form as well. Look how that pike shape is head on the knees. So that's fantastic to see. Obviously
3 years ago, she was a gymnast, obviously, like you were.
Yeah. Well, I didn't do too much gymnastics, but yeah, she looks like a much higher level than I got to, but she looks fantastic. Great form. Just not quite the cleanest entry, but 7.5, been 14 years old for a first senior nationals as well. Wow, that is just
it's very
phenomenal.
Impressive. Into the, I suppose, the main movers and shakers in terms of medals for later. Scarlett Mew Jensen, her big 4.3.5 comes in round 2, but like many of the others, inward 2.5 to start.
Wow, that's lovely. Real shame she didn't get that clean finish on the end, but just like Maria, she's got a very natural talent on the inward 2.5 pike and the front 3.5 as well. It's really, really good to see, because like I said, a lot of people struggle with that dive and opt for the tuck instead. But Scarlett's made that so easily, and what a beautiful dive to watch.
61.5 this morning, 67.5 this afternoon, so she's 6 points up from where she was on that same dive this morning. Now, it's fair to say that Grace Reed, Catherine Torrance had a couple of dives that didn't quite go their way. This one worked out right for Grace earlier on today.
Surprisingly, she got a nice finish on that, actually, considering how far over she's rotated there. She's managed to hold the water down, and hopefully the judges will go with her on that. It's a nice pike shape, a little bit slow, but really, really good save from that, because that was almost destined for failure.
Yeah,
how far over she went, but she managed to hold it together. That's fantastic work.
Kind of shows the experience she's got now.
Of course,
22 years of age, she's been around for a while, as indeed Catherine Torrance has been as well, your teammate in Leeds. She got off with a 49.5. She'll be looking for a lot more than that. From her inward 2.5.
This is a brand new dive for Catherine. She's only learnt this very recently, and she has, as many women do, as I said before, she's been struggling with it a little bit, but it's been getting better and better by week in, week out. I've been able to see it, so I'm really hoping it goes well for her. Oh, that was a really good takeoff from Catherine. Actually, one of the best ones I've seen. Nice pike shape. She's just maybe thought it was too good, maybe she thought it was spinning too fast.
It too much.
Yeah, exactly, and she just came out a little bit early. Not exactly what she wanted there, but from my eyes, that is a fantastic start, and she's got the building blocks to work on that.
Well, and also when she looks at that back, she'll go, right, that bit's working quite nicely now,
just
to work on that. So it's
she knows what she needs to work
component parts, isn't it, for that dive. Kaylee Sinclair, as we come round again, round 2, reverse 2.5. Too close to the edge of the ball. She got herself back again, though, just.
That's one of the things that a lot of people make the mistake on, because obviously the bounciest bit is the end, so people want to get there naturally towards the end, but actually the further you get towards the end, the more chance you have of going too far over. And she's very, very lucky to maintain that, but she has pushed it a bit forwards, and unfortunately come out a little bit early as well.
Well, I'm going to say in the 1 and 3, how many people have we seen do that?
Exactly, yeah.
But you did it yesterday.
Yeah, a lot of people do, yeah. The board's very bendy here as well. So it's, it's just one of those things, I guess, but
it's so hard to save when you're in that position, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yasmin Harper, forward 2.5, 1 twist.
Not a bad dive. I quite like that. I like the pike shape on the start. The flick is, you see that arm drop down a little bit. I think that stopped her from getting the re-pike as deep as she needed to get it. It almost stopped the rotation. That's why it dropped short. Just needs that little bit more work. You can almost see it on the second replay there. Need that little bit more work on the re-pike to bring that dive round and be more upright.
5s across the board. Now, Maria Papworth-Burrell doesn't dive for Canada, despite what might be on her outfit. Forward 3.5. This is her big one, 3.1.
Great hurdle. Whoa! Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Look at this pike shape. Look at that. Absolutely magnificent. Such height as well. That is really, really, really positive to see from her. Great, great dive. I'm actually surprised the judges didn't go with it a little bit more. Well, a little bit short, a tiny bit splashy, but the other components of the dive were absolutely world class there.
So 69.75, biggest mark we've seen so far for anybody. That'll give her a chance of getting right up there. Now Millie Fowler, forward 2.5 with 1 twist. She's representing Japan, by the way. Canada, Japan.
There's a rule that you're not allowed to wear British swimming stuff.
Yes,
so
but you can wear anybody else's.
So you can wear someone else's. I think yesterday I was wearing America. Didn't do too well for me there. I'll stick to Great Britain. Oh, a little bit far back. Whoa!
She got it round.
Wow,
How did she get that round?
That is fantastic. You'll see it. So she's flicked a little bit later than maybe she normally would, but that repike off the twist, you bring the feet back round underneath you to get yourself over your own body. She's done that very well. I thought that was destined for failure because she was so far off the end, but wow, what a good show of strength that was.
And kind of emphasize what we've been saying, what I've been saying with Chris, is it's better to be too far back than right on the edge because you've got a chance to correct it.
Yeah, you have to try that a little bit harder, obviously, when you are further back, but at least you're not slipping off the board and pinging down the, halfway down the pool.
Deshaun Bent Ashmill of Crystal Palace. Very impressive start. And a decent, a very good second round inward 2.5.
Yeah, and a lovely, lovely pike out. She's pushed it a little bit far back, but she has to come out that early as well because of how high and how fast she spins as well. She's just dropped it that little bit short and hasn't quite got the extension that she needs on the end to hold that water down and get the higher scores. But, great talent and fantastic diving so far.
49.75 for her. What a start it was for Scarlett Mew Jensen. 67.50 on her opening dive. Here comes her big one. Nobody goes above 3.1. She's doing it right now. Forward 3.5.
Oh, wow. Just like Maria as well. That's such height and a great pike shape. A little bit off the end. The judges might mark down for that, and she has rolled it in slightly as well. But the technique that Scarlett and Maria have got on that is just phenomenal. It's really, really good to see, and they are a synchro team as well. It looks amazing in synchro as well, but that's a really good dive, and Scarlett should be very impressed with how she's done there.
Yeah, exactly the same mark she got this morning as well, 65.10, but she's ahead of the curve because she went better in round 1 than she did this morning. Grace Reed with her reverse 2.5. Bangs that board.
Yeah. That's a really, really good pickup for Grace. This is probably her, I'd probably say, her weakest dive. She's very, very strong overall on everything, but like you saw there, she had a slight split leg on the takeoff, which makes it really hard to get into that even pike shape. But she's managed to hold the water down great, and she just pushed it a little bit forward, which is probably why she got those marks.
Yeah, already, on those early stages, Kat's got a bit of work to do after that 39 first round, but plenty of time to make up if she can. Forward 2.5. One twist for our number 1 from the prelims this morning.
Whoa. Now that's a shame. Obviously she's rolled it over and she's going to be disappointed with that, but just look at the height out of the board that she's got there. Catherine is so, so strong, and she uses the board like no one I've ever seen before. She's going to be gutted with that, of course, but taking the positives from what she's just done there, that is the highest dive of the competition so far, without a doubt.
Just looking at the gap, here we are, the 8 in order. 14-point gap already for Scarlett Mew Jensen after 2 rounds with 3 to go. Wouldn't have predicted that.
Well, she has done her strongest 2 dives first. Her inward 2.5 pike and her front 3.5 pike are definitely her standout strong dives. Let's hope that she can keep it up, because this morning she did drop a few, I saw. But yeah, I really hope for everyone that they keep going, because this is a fantastic final so far.
It is. Good quality. Katie Sinclair up next for Plymouth with the inward 2.5 in round 3.
Big shame. I think that she's a little bit late to come out. You see she's straight out there. Instead of going into a pike shape to assess where she is and have a look around, she's kicking out straight, which probably indicates that usually she doesn't get quite a good takeoff in comparison to what she just got there, and that means she's rolled over this time, unfortunately. She's maybe a little bit higher with a bit of adrenaline, but not a bad dive.
48.6 for Kaylee. Now Yasmin Harper, not too bad. 51 in her opening dive, 2.7. 45 in round 2. Here comes the reverse 2.5.
Wow, she's worked that really well. You'll see here where she comes out, it looks like she's almost too early. Look, she's kicking it about double. She managed to work it round.
That's a save, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, she had her feet over the end as well, like you were saying earlier. A lot of people have been as well. But yeah, really well worked from that. That's a real great dive for her.
Yeah, 55.5. That's one where you try and fool the judges. You whip your legs around really quickly on entry and go, oh, that was a rip entry. No, it wasn't. Maria Papworth-Burrell, who is right up there after that 69, back 2.5 here.
Oh, lovely dive. I love Maria's pike shape. She's got a great form, great toe point when she's in that pike shape as well. Obviously, just that little bit of splash that she hasn't managed to keep down, but 7, 6.5. I thought they were a little bit harsh on that. I thought that was a beautiful dive for me.
Look good, but 60 is what it gets. Millie Fowler up next after that great forward 2.5 with one twist. Can she back it up with a reverse 2.5 now? Waits for the referee's whistle. There it is. A big dive for forward 3.5 in round 4. But she's 4th at the moment. Knocking on the door. Very long prep on this one.
A lot of concentration.
Ooh, those feet. Those feet were worrying me for a moment.
Yeah. Great top though. She hasn't quite got the line that she needs on the end there. She's washed over, unfortunately. Maybe didn't think she was as high as she was. It's very, very hard to tell where you are when you're spinning around in the air. And she maybe just tried to pull it that little bit too much. And that's why her feet have washed over and she's caused that splash to come up.
So the 14-year-old we've been talking about from Crystal Palace up next. Deshawn Bent Ashmill. And this is her big dive. She has 2 3.0 tariff dives, the first of which is this. It's the back 2.5.
So that's a real shame there. I saw her do it this morning. It was really good. You can see she's travelling quite far back from the board. That's why the judges have penalised it. With the back 2.5, obviously you want to move back a little bit, but not too far back to be off balance. And that's why she struggled on that end, because when she's come out, she's travelling at such a speed that, spinning around and moving back at the same time, it's just very hard to get that entry down.
5s across the board, so 46.50 for her. Now, our leader. And our leader by a substantial amount, but as Jack has mentioned, she's had 2 of her best dives already in terms of her banker dives. Back 2.5 here for Scarlett Mew Jensen of Dive London.
Oh, I almost knew she was going to do that. In the morning, she kicked out too early and she landed on her back. And this afternoon, I knew she was going to go for it a little bit too much and she was going to maybe roll it over. Obviously, you don't want to make the same mistakes that you made in the morning. And it's great to see that she's actually, learned from what she's done earlier.
Oh, 22.5 she got this morning, but so that is an improvement.
Yeah, it is an improvement, but it's obviously not the thing she wanted.
No.
But it's great she's learning from mistakes and it shows real talent in that. To change something around in just a few hours.
Can Grace take advantage? Can Catherine Torrance take advantage? We'll find out soon. Back 2.5, 3.0 for Grace. No, she can't. Is the answer.
Grace. Like I said earlier, look how the distance that she's got from the board there. She's moved it so far back, and the way she's spinning, it's so hard to keep yourself going round and keep that momentum going.
Oh, we have a new leader now. We have Maria Papworth-Burrell in front.
I'm gutted.
It's changing. But Cat Torrance has the chance with her big dive. Forward 3.5. What'd she get on this morning? 49. Well, she want to improve on that. Too far back. She was too far back to pull that round.
Yeah, unfortunately, when you're that far back, the only thing you can really do, because of the way the board bends, is you can stick your hips up and you put your chest down. Obviously, that creates momentum and creates rotational speed. You don't quite get that height, and that's when it becomes very, very difficult to know exactly where you are.
I can't believe that Cat Torrance is at the bottom.
It happens to the best of us.
Yeah, well, true enough.
This isn't the one that everyone's preparing for, especially the A team, but obviously we want to dive well every single time, and it's just a shame that she's down there, but hopefully she gets some good dives still.
Katie Sinclair up next with her forward 3.5.
Oh, that was a really nice dive actually. Very similar come out that what she did at Inwood. You'll see a punch out here instead of through a pike like some people do. But that was really, really nicely worked, and she got a really good entry on that as well.
So 57.40 for Kaylee Sinclair. That's nice, very nice indeed. Oh, that's wide open now, isn't it? We've had 4 different leaders.
It keeps changing all the time.
So
But that's what an exciting competition is.
It is. Yeah, there isn't a runaway leader, a runaway winner at the moment. Yasmin Harper's in 4th place. There's her forward 3.5. Oh! I thought she was going to pull that round, but she gave herself, look again, look at the toes.
Yes, way over the end. She's come too close in that final step. And really, when you're on the end already, there's no way you can really go apart from forward and over the end. It's made it really, really difficult. She's mistimed the board, and it throws everything that you've been training out the window, because it's just about, it's luck then. Look if you come out at the right time or not.
Have we had a higher proportion of people doing that this week? It does seem to be we've had an awful lot of people doing that in the 1 and the 3.
Yeah, I think so. I've seen a lot of it happening, especially in the 1 metre, for sure. Whoa.
She was close as well. Oh, that's our leader.
God, we've seen so many drops
Who's just
recently.
gone over.
Yeah, again, toes over the end there. That's a real shame, because what a great pickup. But yeah, I've seen a almost disproportionate amount of people going over the end. It's seemed a bit strange. I mean, the boards here are really, really good. They're very, very bendy boards, and although that sounds like a silly thing to say, because all boards are bendy, you can definitely feel a difference in some boards and how they all feel depending on the frame, what they're fixed to, and just how the board is generally. And these boards are very, very flexible, which does mean the board depresses more and potentially moves you forward a little bit more as well. So maybe that's one of the reasons, or maybe everyone's just giving 110% and going that little bit too far over the end.
Do you know what? All of a sudden it's Millie Fowler's to win.
Exactly.
Potentially here.
Yeah.
3.1 forward 3.5 somersault. So this is her big tariff dive, and she is 2nd at the moment. Our leader's just screwed up, so this might be her. What is her chance? It really is her chance to.
I guess it's a game of who doesn't drop.
Yeah, very much.
Off the end.
Corrected well though. She did correct well. She corrected that so well.
Wow. What a fantastic dive. Nice pike shape, and she's worked that finish so well there. Really has. That was. I thought she was going to slip off the side there. She was in the corner. She was far back from the end as well. I thought it was all over, but wow, so well worked, and that is just a fantastic dive from her.
She's got a lead of 33 points now.
Yeah.
With that.
It's going to be very hard to catch her from Grace and Catherine's point, because they're a little bit further back, but what a fantastic dive.
Right, Deshawn Bent Ashmill with her reverse 2.5, worth 2.8.
Bit skip forward off the board there. You'll see her knees come forward as opposed to extending up out the board. You see her knees ping forward there, and that means the distance is there, and again, very, very, very difficult to work the end when you've got that forward rotational speed and distance as well.
37.80. Well, we were talking really, weren't we, about Scarlett Mew Jensen, Grace Reed, Catherine Torrance at the moment. None of them are really in the frame to win it.
No, but even after that drop that Scarlett just had there, she's still in 3rd rank, She's still up for the medals here. Really hope this one goes well for her.
So last but one dive for her is the reverse 2.5. Careful with those toes.
She's just pulled it a little bit. You saw she comes a little bit loose on the finish there. And it means that her feet have stayed upright, but her body's rotated round, and it's just caused that splash to whip up a little bit.
They're feeling it, aren't they? All of them.
Yeah, everyone's feeling it, I guess. But this is great for the people that want to come through and hit those dives. It's showing that anyone can win this. The game is definitely open for women's 3 metre, but realistically, Grace is
at the moment
fantastic.
Well, she can certainly get into 3rd. She can't take the lead. Oh,
she's had a knee buckle.
She can. Right, so she'll have a deduction on this. She can do the dive again, but she'll have a deduction. So that will be factored into the points.
That's a big shame there.
And in fact, I think that means pretty much she can't win now.
Oh yeah, I think it's out of the question, but like I said, it's not the big event here.
Oh, 2nd time round, much better.
Yeah, that's a real shame, and to actually be, to go back to the back of the board and have to do it again is very, very nerve-wracking, especially after her knee's just gone then on her step-in. She's going to be feeling a bit jelly-legged anyway, and then got to go to the end of the getting and do it again in front of everybody. You'd be shaking, feeling awful, and she's just gone out there, doing a really high dive, nice pike shape, slightly rolled over, but, you know, hats off to her because she's done fantastic there. It's just a real shame she's not quite pulling it together today.
So the original mark 58, but with the 2-point deduction from the judges, 40.30. Just shows the difference, 18 points differential on that.
Yeah, such a high DD dive, you know, 3.1. This is probably the hardest dive that most of these girls are doing. And it's just a real shame she got the 2-point deduction.
Right.
I think it's a bit of a technical difficulty.
Yeah, I think it's because they've had to just adjust the scoreboard because of that deduction. I think the scoreboard's probably had a bit of a meltdown, go, I can't do that. But
not the best for Catherine because obviously you're used to diver goes and you step on and you're ready to go, but when that kind of flow breaks down because of the technical difficulty, it is very difficult, especially when you are not doing your best current performance. It's going to be very difficult for her, so I'm hoping this is a very strong dive for the 305.
She's singing, she's all right.
She's ready, she's in the zone.
She's in the tunes.
She's not letting anything phase her, but it does sometimes get you off a little bit. You know, you are sat there and you're thinking, right, when the hell am I going to go? I have no idea. You're almost waiting on everyone else as opposed to people waiting on you, which is very difficult. But I'm hoping that she had to pull herself together here and perform a great dive.
Well, I hope so, because 39, right, 54 is fine. Round 2, now 26. That's so uncat-like, really is. But the reverse 2.5 can restore a little bit of the equilibrium, but I just can't believe I'll do a double take. This is ranked 8th. She'll want to change that pretty quickly. Oh, no. She well, again, only somebody of her caliber could get that dive round.
Yes, yeah. And she, you know, the back and reverse 2.5 pike for Catherine are her natural ones. You know, everyone's kind of leans to either forward and inward or back and reverse. And for Catherine, it's back and reverse. And that's such a strong dive for her. She was over the end, but she's used her experience, her knowledge, and natural talent to be able to get that dive round and work it for a 7, 7.5. You know, most people will be halfway down the pool,
Yeah,
almost failing the dive. But Catherine's there doing really strong, good stuff.
Mayflower
really showing
has
her
a
experience.
31-point lead.
I know.
Going to the last round.
She's just got to land this dive on her head, and she's won.
Kelly Sinclair is 4th, so she could still make top 3 here.
Yeah, very close.
Back 1.5, 2.5 twists. This would be quite a surprise for the Plymouth diver if she can.
The dive is nice. I personally don't like the twist position when the arms across the chest. You know, some judges have gone with it, some judges not. It becomes very unclear if the dive is twisted on the end when the arms like that, because it's very hard to get out into a square T position to stop it rotating. You know, that's why she got the 7 and the 5, because people were a little bit unsure of how that actually was.
254 is the marker she has laid down. Yasmin Harper can't really get there, I don't think, with the back 2.5, but we'll see. 254 is the leading score for Kaylee. Gives her a chance of a top 3 finish anyway.
Again, maybe that's just Yasmin Harper's technique, but it looks like she kicks out and it looks like she's going to land on her back, and then all of a sudden arches her back around, and she managed to bring it round and keep the splash down. And again, that's why the judges are confused between a 5.5 and a 7,
Yes.
maybe, because is it short, is it upright? I don't know.
Well,
It
you were
looks-
confused, I was confused
Yeah,
as well, so
exactly,
it's very difficult for them when they've got to press those buttons straight away.
Exactly, yeah. You've got to make a very, very quick decision. And when the, you know, it looks like the top half of your body has landed short, but then your legs work around to upright. What do you give it?
Okay, Maria, forward 2.5, 1 twist, chance of a top 3 finish at least. Oh, that's better.
Okay, nice dive. Very nice dive. Again, forward spinning looks like Maria's, you know, best one. For 8 mid in front was so good, and that was really good as well. Almost looks like she got a small knee buckle as well, which maybe might have thrown her off, but 7, 7.5 is a really, really good dive, and I think it'll be a top 3 finish for her.
Well, 269 puts her in front, but here is our leader, and she won't have been under this kind of pressure ever before, I don't think, Millie.
Maybe not.
20 years of age, and here she is with a chance of winning a National Cup title. She'll be looking around thinking, can I beat Grace Reed? Can I beat Catherine Torrance? Well, you're doing just that right now.
The great thing about this is that she's finishing on a back takeoff, which means no hurdle step, no shaky legs. It's just you and the diving board, that's it. 2.5 somersaults separates you from a national title. I know. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be great. Good top.
That's
Wow,
good enough.
That's
good enough for
There
gold.
it is. There it is. National title. Little bit of bent legs on the come out there, you might see, and some judges might cane that, but 302, that's a great score. Should be really happy with that.
Oh,
fantastic.
Absolutely thrilled for Millie Fowler.
The composure needed to hold yourself together on the end of the board
terrific.
there is just, I played it down a little bit, but I had faith. I knew she was going to do well. She's been diving really well, and she fully deserves that win.
302.20, so she's nailed that. Still the second and third places up for grabs.
Everyone's impossible to catch her now.
No one can catch Millie, but second and third still up for grabs. Tashan Bent Ashmill, love to finish on a high as she can. Forward 2.5 with one twist for the Crystal Palace youngster. Or better.
Yeah, now you can see that gymnastic technique really coming in here. What speed, great twist. Just not quite got that tension coming off the twist into the repike and then dive position. Maybe more used to landing on her feet than her hands, but what a great talent and fantastic scores. No real drops, just really, really good raw talent, and I'm really excited for her future.
64 is what I make Scarlett Mew-Jensen needing for second place here. They're saying 10s on my board. I don't think that's quite right, but I think if my calculations are right, she needs 64 to go second on this forward 2.5 one twist. That good enough for 64.
You see how upright that was there? If you watch really closely, pike. What happens is she reaches the water, and as soon as she goes into the water, she's bringing her legs down into a pike position to try and stop it over-rotating. Now that could have been an 8.5 dive, but because of that, and maybe she thought she was going to over-rotate, it's brought the splash back up towards her, and it's caused the judges to go 7.5 instead of potentially the 8.5.
Second place, 269.25. Third place, 269.10 as things stand. Grace Reed not finished yet. Forward 2.5 with one twist for Grace.
My God, she's over the end. Oh, it's been a... Grace, I can feel her pain because I did it just yesterday, Me and Grace, categorically, the MPD would probably say, the #1 spots, but we've both had not great competitions, and she's going to be really gutted with that because I've seen her training out in Brazil when we were there a couple of weeks ago. She's looked fantastic.
And she started so well. The inward 2.5 was great.
Just exactly the same as me yesterday. Great first two dives, and it all went downhill, but, everybody knows really that Grace is a fantastic diver, and she's so composed at the big events. It's hard for us to get up for these events and get going, but some really positive things there just didn't quite go her way today, and that's okay. Everyone makes mistakes.
Cat needs 55 not to finish bottom here. Back 2.5 somersaults. She can't get anywhere near the medals, but she won't want to finish bottom.
Oh, that's a really nice dive for Catherine to finish on. Like I said earlier, that's her natural spinning technique, is back and reverse. And you can see there, great vision, great awareness, brilliant pike shape, and she just washed that tiny bit over. But, she's obviously going to be gutted with that, but she's a great athlete. She'll bounce back. It's okay. We've got some big competitions coming up, and I'm really looking forward to her future.
Now, you would not have predicted that top three.
No, God, no.
In a month of Sundays.
Honestly, I thought it was going to be Grace, Catherine, and then a battle between Maria and Scarlett. But Millie Fowler, hats off, well-deserved, way above the margin, 30 points ahead. Fantastic work. Very impressive.
Great promise. I mean, she's 20 years of age. The more depth we can get in the 3 metre, I was talking with Julian about the 10 metre earlier on, but the more depth we can get, the more people who are challenging, the better.
Of course, yeah, that's the main thing is that, we look back 10, 15 years in British diving, back when I was starting the senior circuit, there was 1 or 2 people who were potentially making a world semi-final. Now we've got multiple people in Britain who have the capability and the potential to go so far. And it's great to see, a little bit worrying for me as I've got people nipping at my heels, but it's great to see the depth that we've got in British diving in both the juniors and the seniors. So I'm super proud to be part of this and to be part of all that, inspiration, inspiring a generation, everything like that. All these people coming through. Hopefully in 20 years' time, I'll be looking in British diving, will still be #1 or #2.
Good luck for the rest of the year. I know you're going to go down and join John in the studio in just a few moments' time. But Jack, good having you on board, and we'll see you later in the year for other things, and indeed on the board, of course, as well. Right, our winner is just making her way into position. She's, of course, wearing the Edinburgh jacket because that's where she's training these days, but under the Celia Sheffield banner. I don't think she can quite believe what has just happened, but we'll hear what it's like for Millie Fowler to have won. She's with John.
Well, I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, Millie, congratulations, a gold medal for you. How was that performance for you?
Literally like nothing I've ever done before in competitions. Like, I don't. Sorry.
That's all right.
I don't know. I'm still quite shook. Like, I don't know
how you feel. Don't know how to process it.
I didn't realise I had it in me. I don't know.
But the thing is that must be a wonderful thing for you to now know. You know, you've come to a big competition like this. It's the first major of 29th season, and to know that you can compete up there at that level with those girls. So talking through your dives, was there anything that you noticed that you really needed to sort of work on moving forward, or things you were happy with?
I was really happy with my front 3.5. My reverse 2.5, because normally in competitions that's like a wobbly one for me, so I was really happy with that.
Yeah. We can see some of them here. Yeah.
Yeah. And my back 2.5 as well, because I know I was doing well, and like normally when it comes to something like that, I like crumble under the pressure, because especially if I've had like a good run. When it's like when it comes down to the final one, normally I like fall apart. But
so what was going through your head then on that like final dive? What was in there for you as you were going in to make that final run?
Well, like I was aware that I'd been diving quite well, and like I noticed there'd been a few drops as well. Sorry. That's all right. So then, I mean, I was kind of telling myself like I know how to do it, and like I've done it lots of times in training. Yeah. And like if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Like life will go on. Like it doesn't really matter.
It's not the end of the world, but today it happened for you, and you know what? A gold medal. You've got to be happy with that. It's beaming. We love that. Well, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get your photo. You want to know why? Because you are part of our best of Brits up there. All of our champions this weekend getting their photo taken, and you are no different because you are now a champion. Lovely, smile for me. There we go. So we're going to get your signature on this one, and we'll get that up there on the best of Brits. But look, congratulations!
Thank you.
I'm so happy for you. Still to come, of course, loads of action. Well, our final piece of action. We have the men's 10-meter final, the platform final. So I'm going to send you out of the studio. Out you go, Millie. You're going to sign that. Don't worry, studio manager Jess. She's going to look after you. That's for you. That's for you. Yeah, we've got the men's 10-meter platform. So coming up, well, not coming up. Right now, I'm being joined by two more legends who know what it's like to take home some gold. You had a gold the other day, boys. Thanks for coming back to Deep End Live. Competition's over. Weekend's done. How are we feeling at the end of it all, sort of before we head home?
Yeah, I mean, I'm feeling pretty exhausted, to be fair, because you know when you compete, it takes a lot out of you. You know, you've got a lot of adrenaline, obviously, but yeah, I feel pretty tired, so I've got a long drive back after this as well. Yeah, exhausted is probably the word, yeah.
Yeah, and I know you, Jack, you had some good performances and ones I know you weren't too happy with, but taking away from that, sort of looking forward at this season, what's next? What are we sort of moving towards?
We've got the World Series coming up soon. The big one this year is the World Championships.
Of course.
You know, we've got to keep striving towards that, and I really don't want to be performing super good right now because I need to keep that up. I need to keep working so that I get that Olympic qualification this year at the World Championships. Obviously, I'm gutted with my performance. It always hurts to have a bad performance, but I feel like I've learned a tremendous amount from this event, whether it's an individual or with the synchro with Dan. And the synchro has been the main priority. So I've come away with a gold medal and an okay start, you know, some good dives in there. I'm really happy with that. The individual, I can work on myself, you know, no problem. I'll get it back. But the lessons that I've learned here are really important. So yeah, just looking forward to the World Series and the World Champs.
I mean, loads coming up this year for you guys as well. And this one's just like we said earlier, brushing off the cobwebs, getting yourself back into the routine of it all. Now, I know you've had a big competition in there. I know you're exhausted, but I do need to pit you guys head-to-head in one more competition. The Duck Challenge.
Yeah, I was scared you were going to say that.
Do you know, everyone has been saying that. They're finding this really high pressure.
Well,
but you guys can handle it.
Well, I don't know.
Yona.
There's probably more pressure on this game because, I mean, I'm up against Yona and I need to beat him.
36, that's almost 2 a second. So you know the rules, all right? I'm going to put 20 seconds on the clock.
Right.
You're going to move as many ducks over into this one.
Finger and thumb?
Finger and thumb. as many ducks over into this one as you can in 20 seconds. So you're
right,
up
Dan,
first,
go
Dan.
first.
You know, you guys are our last 2 competitors of this game. So at the end of this, we're going to know who's taking home the prize. No, you don't get a practice.
What's the best stance, like the squat or the...
Well, everyone's been doing this. Everyone that's done well has done a squat, calm, collected, and focused. Yeah.
Does that have to be facing that way as well?
Put it however you want it. However you want it. It's up to you. All right. Oh, he wants this. My producer's saying it's got to be this way. Everyone wants to see it. Sorry, they need to see it. All right, Dan. On my count. You ready? 3, 2, 1, go. He's never known pressure like it, Jack. Come on, see. It's way harder than you think it's going to be. Keep it going, Dan. You're doing well. Focused. Jack's studying it. It's like, what's happening? Keep going. Come on, you got 5 seconds to go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop. I think you did pretty well. Unfortunately, we can't count this fella because they have to stay in. They have to stay in.
I'm not too disappointed with that.
Yeah, I think you did all right, to be honest. Look, 2, 4, 6, 8. Oh, you got to use your microphone. He's pretty happy with that. 6, 8.
I'm not too disappointed.
12, 14, 16.
I'm prepared for another
18,
loss.
20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 33. You know what? You haven't done that bad.
Okay.
You were up here with Jack Haslam. You got Anthony Harding, Adele. And they. I think that's it. Yeah, you've done pretty good.
That's pretty good. I'm surprised. I'm surprised.
I'd be quite happy with
really
that.
sweaty hands, and I know I'm going to lose to Lois.
Dan, sit down. Sit down over there. We want to see the leaderboard, but you write your score on that one. Oh, thank you, studio manager Jess. 33.
Right. Okay.
Which is very respectable, I think. Now, Jack, I know how competitive you are. Oh, he's taking his slides off and everything. He's got his shoes off.
Concentrate on 1 duck at a time.
He's taking this really seriously. Is that your advice?
Yeah, concentrate on 1 duck at a time.
1 duck at a time. I think that's a good piece of advice. All right, on my count. You ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go. Come on, Jack, you got this. 36. We want 37 from you. He's got it. Come on, get behind him, Dan.
He's doing pretty well.
He's doing really well. Is he going to be able to pull it off? Don't worry about it. Keep moving. You got 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Go, stop.
That's
you know
good.
What?
That's good.
That was really good. Yeah. Really good. All right, final
I think you
one
might
of the
beat
day.
Yona.
Score to beat is 36. You're going to Night Wisdom. We got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 39.
Hey!
Dude! I won something! Yes! 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 Redemption! Jack Law. I tell you what, there you go.
I'm feeling a bit embarrassed about my score up now.
39. You have one up there. 39 was that?
Yeah,
39.
39 or 38.
39.
Wow.
You know what? It's like the Ashes.
Where's
so
Yona? That's what I want to know.
Have won where it really mattered.
Yeah.
In the duck challenge.
Exactly. I just couldn't handle the pressure.
You couldn't handle the pressure.
I've been training for a long time for this.
So we've got a bronze, a silver, a gold up here.
No, I get straight gold.
In the bronze medal position, we have a three-way tie. A three-way tie.
Grace cheated. It says brackets cheating there, though, right?
Well, she thinks she cheated. I didn't. I, as the adjudicator, made a
How did she
sort
cheat?
of. Okay. Well, anyway, my producer's telling me we've got to move on.
And then Jack.
So Jack, Anthony Harding, and Adele all on 33. You've got Grace Reed on 34. It's a bit dodgy, but she didn't. But you know what? First gold medal. We've got Daisy, the duck challenge duck, for you there, Jack. Now this is like the Ashes, okay? So you've got to hold on to Daisy for a year and bring her back next year for some more duck challenge.
What pressure to remember a duck.
Yeah,
Okay, I'll do it. I'll do it.
He'll do it. Thank you, we love it. Look, thanks for playing,
Thank you
guys.
very much.
And look, thank you for joining us this weekend. Good luck for the 2019 season. I'm sure you're both going to smash it. It's been a pleasure having you in. But coming up next, we've got another competition. Our final of the weekend is the men's 10-meter platform. So we caught up with Maddie and Tom yesterday. Here's the VT. Let's hear what they had to say. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Our champions, Tom and Maddie Lee.
We did it.
Guys, first big one out, first one that really kind of matters. How was that for you guys?
I think it was pretty steady. You know, we scored 421, which is quite a solid and consistent score, really, compared to the rest of the world, which is exciting considering it's the first time we've ever dived together, and there's a lot that we could have improved on some of our dives. So overall, really happy with that.
Yeah, I mean, you sort of mentioned that, a lot to improve on. This is sort of the baseline for you guys heading into 2019.
Yeah.
What are some of the things you're going to be looking at? Here, we got some of your dives here.
See, like watching it back, I missed my hands on this one. And so was that big splash. But the synchro on everything has been pretty good.
Yeah.
So really happy with the way that's looking, actually.
Actually tweak
I mean, I watched it. All look pretty nice to me. I'm not a judge, but I thought it was fabulous.
Good.
So, guys, first start of the competition, obviously. Still got another day to go. How are you feeling about it all heading into tomorrow?
Yeah, feeling good. It's nice to do well, obviously this is a serious competition as well, but it's nice to get a competition done before the individual as well tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's quite important for me because I can qualify for some I believe I can, like everyone, can qualify for some competitions, and that's important for me. So it's nice to get a competition done today and get the feel for the competition, and then hopefully perform tomorrow.
Like a warm-up, but like an intense warm-up.
Yeah, exactly,
It's weird because I was actually really nervous there today.
Were
and
you?
I never normally get nervous at nationals. I was stood on the end for my first dive, and I was like, oh my goodness. I think it's because it's been so loud in here when we've been training, and it was the first time where it was like silence,
quiet.
and it made it feel like, oh, right, okay, this
All
is the
eyes on you
serious
guys.
bits, like throwing us in at the deep end, you know?
Yeah, and you got your fam in as well, haven't you?
Yeah, exactly. It's the first time that my son came to watch me dive. It sounds so crazy, but yeah, no, he was up there.
That's sweet.
I didn't hear him once, so.
I tell you what, you don't have to worry about any mistakes because he's not going to remember this one.
No.
He was probably asleep.
You'll have to watch it back on
He was
YouTube.
probably either asleep or eating. That's,
Exactly.
That's the two things he likes doing anyway.
We love it. So, guys, feeling good. You've got the girls up next. You know, lots of amazing divers in this weekend. What's been your favourite moment so far? Of other people, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Give me a diver. Give me a performance.
Well, Gemma MacArthur.
Yeah,
for winning
Amazing.
today. Yeah,
loved it.
Yeah.
And then Dan in the individual as well as Anthony. They, you know, all it's the year of the underdogs. It seems, you know.
I kind of like that though. I think it really is making for an interesting competition, and everything coming down to that last dive.
Exactly.
After their win yesterday in the 10-meter synchro, now they're going head-to-head, of course, in the 10-meter platform. It's a strong field out there, isn't it, Chris?
It is indeed. We saw that this morning. We saw some falters, but we saw some really nice dives as well.
Well, look, welcome back to the studio. You're here with me, our man in the know. You're going to talk through some of our ones to watch for our final event of the weekend. First up, of course, we've got to mention him, Tom Daly.
Yeah, he doesn't really need an introduction as per se. He's very experienced, extremely experienced diver. Won the World Championships when he was 14 years old. So, you know, you could say not challenging for him here at the National Cup, but he has, you know, just had a child, which is a huge step in his career.
Of course.
And now I think I've been talking to him here, and he's saying it's weird because he's no longer the most important person in his life.
Oh, I
quite
mean, that's
strange.
sweet, though.
Weird perception.
But of course, changing his perception on that, and he also had a year off, you know, having to go and have a family. So now just getting back into training and things like that.
But diving really well in the prelims.
Super well, wasn't it? I mean, some incredible diving happening there. Also up against him, his partner in the synchro, Maddie Lee, very strong, very promising diver, well known around the world. Made the 10-meter final in Budapest, I believe, in 2017. So up there with Tom.
Yeah, Matty's a really strong diver. Quite hard sometimes diving against your partner. But Matty's got a lot of experience. I'll be looking forward to his forward 4.5 somersaults tucks. It's one of his best dives. If he gets it right, he can go over 100 points. So look out for that.
Keep an eye out for that one. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. So, of course, that's Tom and Maddie. They took the gold yesterday, going head-to-head, but there are a couple of other really, really strong competitors in the field. Let's talk about Matthew Dixon.
Matty Dixon, I was saying it in the commentary, he is so consistent. Like, it's actually nice to watch him because there's no real unpredictability. You know, some divers, you're a bit nervous to watch on the end of the diving board. You don't know if you're gonna hit it or they're gonna miss it. But Matty Dixon is a real one to just nail every single dive. Maybe not always getting the 8.5, 9s. Sometimes they do appear, but he's very consistent.
Very consistent, and that's half of the problem with diving, isn't it? You know, we're seeing divers out there have these high difficulty dives, but not being able to keep consistent with them. We can see the parade up here. The boys coming up. Just spoke about Matthew Dixon. There he is. Big smile on his face. I think he's excited for competition. Now, one last person I'd like to talk about before we go, Noah.
Yeah, I mean, Noah had a bit of a disaster in the synchro. Some of the dives went really well. As we saw in the first round, the in with 3.5 scored over 80 points. I think it was around 87 points, which is a really big score. And they both nailed their dives. Like, Noah his finish is so crisp, like when he on the water, because he's so skinny, he's so small. But he's also got so much power. He just nails all of his dives, but he did one twist less than he should have done in the synchro, which is why that got marked down. Let's hope he doesn't do that today. I'm sure he's focused and he's he's going to do really well.
Yeah, I mean, that happened obviously in the synchro, and, you know, he was working with his partner, but his partner, Kyle, were both on fine form, though. Little mistakes like that, of course, happen to everyone, don't they? Making a mistake that can mess everything in the blink of an eye. Well, look, I'm really excited to see what he does here in this competition, as well as the other boys out there competing. I do need to send you up to Bob Ballard, because you're going to be up there in commentary. It's been brilliant having Chris down here, giving us all of his knowledge throughout the weekend. But for now, it's up to Bob, and it's our final event of the weekend, the men's 10-meter platform final.
Thank you, John. I'm the only person who can send Chris up, but I know what you mean. He'll be with me in commentary in just a moment as we look through what basically is a Plymouth against London battle. There are 5 Plymouth divers against 4 London divers, because Constantine Popovici of Romania, who will dive 4th, is actually training here in Plymouth when he's not diving internationally. He's a high diver, one of the best high divers in the world actually is Constantine, but when he's in the UK he trains down here, so they're claiming him as their own in Plymouth. So there are 5 Plymouth divers up against 4 for London, even though Matty Lee is down as a City of Leeds diver. He's now of course with Tom in London, so this is a straight shootout between Plymouth and London. Obviously, Tom Daly kind of counts as both, doesn't he, in a way? But that's your lineup for the men's platform final. Alfie Brown of Plymouth, Ewan McCabe, Plymouth, Aidan Heslop, Plymouth. And though it says Romania against Popovici, they're claiming him as well. Noah Williams, London. Matty Lee, now with London. Plymouth's Matthew Dixon. Dive London's Kyle Cathari and Tom Daly. As they prepare. And he prepares for the final of the men's platform. His husband not too far away. Baby Robbie is probably about 20 feet, maybe a bit more away from me, soaking up Dad's platform final. So if you hear some noises off, it might be him. I think he's actually asleep at the moment, so probably not actually too aware what Dad's up to. But here we go. It's basically a Plymouth against London shootout here. 5 Plymouth divers against 4 London divers, because Plymouth are claiming Constantine Popovici as he trains here. So there you go. Alfie Brown of Plymouth will go first, and he'll disappear and then reappear in the forward 3.5.
Hello everyone, I am back. Absolute minefield getting up here. I was a little bit late.
You did so well.
Had to get the elbows out and you know, fight through the people, but I'm here.
Did you have to elbow Lance out of the way on the way?
Nice dive there, Alfie Brown. 4.5 pike.
61.5 for Alfie. Ewan McCabe's got some big support here, as he will do, local boy. 2.8 to reverse 2.5. Of all the finest, only Alfie Brown goes down to another level, but here comes Ewan's 2.5 somersaults, reverse.
Now he did an amazing job to get into the final, and he's done an amazing job on that dive. Slightly piked on entry, but the rip was fantastic.
Well, as opposed to the women's 3, I think we'll see most of the divers step up here. It was very much a case in the women's 3 of everybody not quite doing what they did this morning, but I don't think we'll see that in the men's 10.
Well, this whole Nationals has been a Nationals to remember, one of many upsets.
Aidan Heslop up next, so Plymouth, 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 and again Plymouth if you count Popovici. Armstrong will come in round 3. Reverse 3.5 will come now for Aidan Heslop.
A great distance from the diving board. Awesome tuck shape. You see the kick there. Amazing placement. And he takes it down.
And takes his score right up. 83.30. 2 8s and an 8.5 in there. Heslop, yeah, this competition is cooking already, which is good. Now this man is used to being over 30 meters high because he does high diving for the most part. Stepping down to the 10-meter board. I think he's ranked number 2 or something in the world in the high diving. Popovici.
He is. He's doing some amazing stuff up there. Rather him than me, that's what I can say.
And rare that I say this, but he's 30 years of age. Don't see too many people born in the 80s who are doing diving these days. But he starts with an arm stand. Why? I don't know. But he does. Arm stand back double somersault with 1.5 twist for the Romanian.
Now, if you're doing cliff diving, you've probably got to be a little bit crazy. It's probably why he starts on the arm stand. Looks very confident when he's in his arm stand. And the dive itself was good, just slightly washed over, but not a bad start at all for Konstantin.
Well, that's a good succession of dives, actually. 61, 61, 83 and 70. We'll take that.
We like that.
Noah Williams up there. He's readjusting his jaw. And inward 3.5 for him, which was quite a feature of the women. So it's an inward 2.5 for the women. Inward 3.5 for the men on the 10. For the Dive London diver, 18 years of age now, Noah.
That's more like it. Thank you very much. He did come out early. He got his entry there. Slightly splashy. And that'll be why not all the judges have gone a 9 on that. But he's banked himself some scores there.
83.20. That takes him just behind Aidan. 83.3, 83.2. Now, as we said, Konstantin might be questionable with the arm stand. Matty Lee goes with it as well, and his is slightly more complex. It's the arm stand back triple somersault. Didn't quite work for him this morning, but maybe it will right now. Got 61 this morning. Be looking for a lot more on a 3.3. Gets it.
He gets it, but it is lower degree of difficulty there. And you can see him slightly piked as he goes through the water there. The legs come over, and that's why he didn't get 8s and above on the dive.
69.3 for Matty Lee. Now, more local shouting, more local encouragement for Matthew Dixon, who was going for exactly the same dive.
You just rhymed unintentionally there, Bob. 69.3 for Matty Lee. That was nice, I like that.
I try.
Poetic.
I try. Unintentional, but I try.
And that is exactly why I said earlier in the day, in the prelims, Matty Dixon is a pleasure to watch. He's so consistent. I did just say downstairs, he doesn't always get the 9s. He just did.
Yeah, nobody spotted his feet weren't together when he took off, but it doesn't matter. What happened afterwards is what matters. 85.80 for Matty Dixon. I tell you, really impressed this morning. This young man from London, 20 years of age, Kathari, who finishes with an arm stand. Inward 3.5 for the Dive London man, who was second behind Tom Daly. Quite a way behind, but he was second this morning.
And that's why. That is why. Awesome dive. That was so upright. You can see him. That was the most upright dive I've ever seen. And that's why Judge 3 is 10 now. I like it.
Yeah, I do too, and he surely must. 89.60. We thought it was good this morning at 86.4. He's beaten that and bettered it in the final. Okay, Tom.
See what you can do.
Over to you.
It's been a big round of dives so far.
It's been fantastic. Really, really good. Can they keep up the standard? Can he keep up the standard? He goes to the right side of the board as we look for the reverse. Reverse 3.5 somersaults, 3.4. Tom Daly's opening gambit.
And it's a nice dive. He pulls it slightly on the entry. You can see there, just there, pull. And it goes over very slightly. The rip was good.
And you know what? With that 88.4, he's not actually leading after the first round. Karl Kathari is. With 89, but look at that, 89, 88, 85, 83, 83, top 5.
That's good diving. That's what we want to see. Some more of that, please.
Yeah. Alfie Brown goes with the inward 3.5 now. Because he's got an arm stand that's only worth 1.9, probably won't be competitive for the top 3, but it's all about experience for the 16-year-old. Inward 3.5 on round 2.
Oh, it's not quite coming together there. The somersault speed was a bit slow, and as he pikes out, he's hesitant as he goes towards the water, and that is short of vertical, 52.8.
Yeah, that's the marks, and that's how they're broken down. 5.5s each. If you are new to all this, the marks without lines through them count towards the score. Then we multiply that by the degree of difficulty, as I try and mention before we go into a dive. For example, Ewan McCabe's nice, easy mathematics on this one, 3.0. So everything he gets will be timed by 3. And this is the forward 3.5. Most of the main divers will do a forward 4.5.
He was some distance from the diving board. Took off, as you can see, they're leaning forward slightly, but he countered that. He knew it was going to happen, and he took the entry down, which is good to see.
Yeah, an improvement score-wise on round 1, 61.6 to 64.5. Now, Aidan Heslop, he was one of those 80 scorers in the opening round with that reverse 3.5. Comes down a bit in terms of degree of difficulty before he goes back up again. He's going to go for the forward 3.5 as well. Ewan McCabe with that 64 should be able to better that.
Yeah, it's a nice dive. The jump wasn't phenomenal. It was a bit low on the start. The pike shape was nice, and it's slightly over-rotated. But it's not a bad 3.5 pike there.
Yeah, 67.5, so it was marginally better than his teammate, Ewan McCabe, the 13-year-old. Now Popovici, the old man, at 30. And again, he doesn't have a forward 4.5 in his list, but he does have a forward 3.5, and this will be it.
Now, I really like the way he comes out of that. Yeah, he comes out really early. You can see 1, 2, come out, look at it. But it would be better if he kept his legs closer to his body in the pike shape. That would give him more control to get a better, cleaner entry.
67.5, not too shabby though. You're happy with that 70 and a 67. Now Noah Williams, what a start that was. 83.2 on the in with 3.5. Got his arm stand up next. Arm stand back, double somersault 2.5 twist. So quite a few divers not getting vertical or going too quickly this morning. But in the final we expect all the main divers to be okay.
Noah looks slightly wobbly as he goes up into his handstand, but he's got full control now. It's a good takeoff, it's a good entry. Very nice, he left it a hair short. Nothing finer than a hair. Chest dropped, but that made all the difference, unfortunately. The rip entry was there. Noah is one in this competition that has probably the best rip out of everybody. He's so thin, he goes through the water and makes literally no splash.
75.6 for Noah, so backs up his opening round dive pretty well. Matty Lee, yeah, improvement on the arm stand, but not maybe by as much as he would like. But this is a big one because it's a high tariff dive, one of 3 high tariff dives he has in his program. Back 2.5 somersaults, 2.5 twists.
Now Matty just demonstrated a perfectly executed back takeoff. Really, really nice arm swing. The technique was great. Maybe it was a little bit too good. And he holds on in this pike shape slightly too long. He wants to open out early and have a look at that to really get them 8.5, 9s on the finish. Even 10s, because that start was a 10.
Yeah, Coach James is having a chat with him about what maybe they can improve. Obviously, don't get a chance to improve that one again, because he won't be doing that for a while, but it's only 5.6. Right, Matthew Dixon had the big talk up by Chris Mears about how consistent he is. Let's see whether there's inward 3.5 backs that up.
And slightly feel bad for that. Back at it again with the commentator's curse. I'm sorry, Matthew will probably watch this back later. I'm sorry, mate. It's probably my fault. But 6.5 there. That's not his standard for that Ep8 3.5. A little bit soft on the entry and over.
We got 48 this morning, so that's an improvement. So that's one he really didn't quite get right this morning, but it's an improvement in the evening, but not by as much. Carl Cathari. I'll start from him. 89.6 took the early lead, marginally from Tom Daly, just over a point between them. Back 3.5 somersaults for the Dive London diver, 20 years of age now.
Now Kyle opting to go for the tuck position on his back 3.5, and that should really be piked. I'm wondering whether that's an injury problem. Maybe he's got a bad ab or shoulder or something like that. And I think, yeah, we can see he's actually taken the tape. No, the tape is still on his shoulder, so maybe that's why. And the dive's just too easy for him.
I wonder, how often does Tom get called Thomas? I don't think even Mum Debbie calls him Thomas, does she?
I have never really heard anyone call him Thomas.
Well, they
since
do.
I've known him.
He's on the dive list as Thomas Daly, so that's how they announce him.
And I've known him as well since I was about 11, so.
Inward 3.5 for Tom Daly. Should take the lead with this, and does.
It's a beautiful dive. Yeah, really nicely executed there. 1, 2, 3, pikes out, has a look at it, gets his hands on it, and straight down the hatch. 86.4. That looked very comfortable.
9s across the board. Did get some 10s in the prelims this morning, but none of them counted. But I'd say he won't get some 10s that do count in the afternoon. So a third of the way there. This is how it looks. 16-point lead now for Daly over Noah Williams, and then Aidan Heslop, then Matthew Dixon, Matty Lee. It's your top 5. Alfie Brown just a little bit clear of the top 8, but not by a great deal. Here he is, right on cue. So he's got his arms down in round 4, which is only 1.9, and then he goes down to the 5-meter board before he comes back up again. So chatting with a couple of people about that, and they say, well, the twister is easier for him off the 10, which will be his last one. But this is the reverse 2.5 somersaults for Alfie Brown, 16 years of age. We have several great protégés here at Plymouth.
Now flat feet in the tuck shape, and it kind of sticks out like a sore thumb as he's in. You can see there in the air. Makes him spin quite fast. Needs to kick out earlier of that one to be able to get it on his head.
40.60 is what he gets. And the Ewan McCabe fan club behind us on the arm stand double somersaults. Not worth a lot though in terms of degree of difficulty. It's only 2.4. So to get big marks on this, it's going to have to be really, really good. Central. He's up.
Hold it.
A few seconds before he can go. I think he's okay.
He's good, and he nails the entry. I was a bit worried about that handstand. At the start of it, he looked like he was going to fall in, and that might have been quite disorientating, but he held it, and he gets a nice entry. Unfortunately, the form was a little bit off, but he's a young dude, and he's in the final. It's probably his first final ever, so to even be here is a bonus.
Yeah, and he'll work on that because everybody else is doing their arm stands in the 3 range. His is only 2.4, so there's a bit of alteration to make over time, but obviously that's what he's comfortable with right now. Aidan Heslop, here comes his. Now do a compare and contrast. We had a 2.4 for Ewan, a 3.6 for Aidan. This has got lots of moving parts, you could say. Arm stand back, double somersault, 2.5 twists. Now if you're a judge, you've got a lot to take in here on this dive.
Now slightly bent arms in the handstand, I noticed, but the execution of the dive was pretty nice.
a pretty good return, isn't it? 7.5 and 2 7s.
Consistent.
And when you multiply that by the degree of difficulty, 77.4 is what you get. Well, because Konstantin Popovici is an overseas diver, we get 9 for the final. And he's had good scores so far, 70.4, 67.5. Reverse 3.5 is what will take him to halfway in his program.
That was a little bit too confident there. On the kick, too early. He needs to wait longer than that and kick upwards. Same reach, exactly the same come out that he performed, but wrong place.
Well, this man's used to coming from 33 metres or whatever it is. So it seemed like a bit of a breeze coming from 10, but didn't quite work on the reverse. Obviously, normally he's going the other way round. He's landing on his feet, not on his head. Noah Williams of Dive London. Good start. 83 and a 75. Here comes his reverse 3.5. He's currently second behind Tom Daly.
That was nice. Not your standard Noah Williams entry. Little bit of splash being thrown out, which is quite rare for him, just because he pulled it slightly over. But anyone would be pretty happy to come away with 79.8 on a reverse 3.5 on 10 metre.
Yeah,
so already quite nerve-wracking.
A couple of 8s and a 7.5 go towards that score, so looking good and unlikely to relinquish that second place after that. Matty Lee, there or thereabouts, but not quite in cruise control yet. Reverse 3.5 somersaults here, 3.4. Problems with this morning.
And that's better. Slightly washed over from Matty. Very similar to Noah's, actually. So we'll see what the judges make of that. Maybe it's a little bit further over than Noah's. Let's see if they penalise more. 74.8.
Compared to 54.4 in the prelims.
So that's good. A step up.
Matthew Dixon, we will say nothing about his consistency as we go into round 3.
We won't.
Just to highlight that his big dive, which is the big dive for all the divers in here, the main ones anyway. The forward 4.5 comes next. To get there, he has to go through the back 3.5 first, which is this.
Now, this dive from Matthew Dixon, watch the replay, watch him open up there. I don't know if you can see it, because it's not really slow-mo, but he kind of opens up in the middle of his tuck shape, and some of us divers always see it, and we don't know how he does it, but we think he's spotting the water as he goes round, and performing that dive pretty nicely there.
8.5 times the degree of difficulty gives him 84.15, so good. That moves him up into second place as things stand. Behind Noah Williams, but obviously Tom Daly's still to go. And indeed, Carl Cathari, after that brilliant start, couldn't back it up on the back 3.5. Going to go from back to reverse here. Good distance from the board required from Kyle.
He gets that moving so quickly. That was a perfect technique at the start. The legs were slightly apart. And again, we're seeing another one of them banana pulls on the end and over-rotating.
Doesn't want to look at it. There's a video screen right behind.
He knows what happened.
He can go and examine it if he wants to, but decides not to, just walks off. Now, Tom Daly, of course, being claimed by both Plymouth and London, but strictly speaking, is a London diver these days. As they pointed out to me earlier today, he earned most of his medals when he was in Plymouth. It's very competitive they are down here.
Yeah.
Forward 3.5 with an extra twist. Watch out for it. We'll see loads of 3.5s, but we won't see him with a twist. He's the only one doing this dive, which is why it's worth 3.6. Might look a little bit awkward. Did to me this morning, but let's see.
Now, this morning he went short. This afternoon, He goes over. Not by a lot, but you see there, and he will be marked down, I'd say 6. Yeah, 5.5, 6 there for his front twister. Now that's 3.6 degree of difficulty, but I think everyone in diving would agree that that should be 4.6. How hard that is to do, and that's why nobody else does it in pretty much the world of diving on 10 metre. Tom is the only one to perform the dive.
Well, he's also relinquished the lead to Noel Williams by 2.7 points. In fact, the top 3 are separated by 6 points. Noel Williams, Tom Daly, Matthew Dixon, 238, 236, 232. Alfie Brown, here's his 1.9 arm stand somersault.
Now he's executed it very nicely. We just had a tiny bit more foot form on the entry. It'll be really nice, slightly long as well, just by a tad. But well executed, easy dive, required dive really, but nice dive.
41.8 for Alfie. Ewan McCabe currently in 7th place. There's the McCabe family. So right beside me.
Right behind us.
Yeah. Can't miss them, can you? Inward 3.5 for Ewan.
I hope he does it well. Don't want them to hear my bad negative commentary in case he doesn't nail it. He does it really well. I'm really happy about that. Really nice dive there. He rips the entry. Look at that going through the water so well. He is having a blast in this final. So good to see a young kid getting through to a final and just thriving.
He's 13.
13 years old.
13.
That was world class.
Born 2005, great potential. All his dives are off 10 as well. Doesn't go down 7.5, doesn't go down to 5, stays on 10 all the way through. What potential there. Aidan Heslop now. Around a little bit longer, only 16 though. Again from the Plymouth team. Inward 3.5 for his 4th round dive. At the moment, he's in 4th. Not too far shy of the top 3 either, it's pretty tight.
Slightly short. It's a shame because the entry is so crisp. Look at that. No splash whatsoever, but he just looked like he didn't lock himself out fully going through the water in his entry.
60.80 for Heslop. It's his lowest mark of the 4 so far. It's been very consistent up to then. It's not a bad mark on 3.2, but it's not as high as he would have liked. At the back of the field at the moment is Konstantin Popovici. He's got one very big dive in his program. This is it. It's a dive that a few have at the back of their program. Matty Lee has it in round 5. It's the back 3.5. Taking a long time over this one.
And this final maybe just getting to him slightly. He's too high to be pulling that hard. And he lands over a vertical on the entry.
Yep, that's what he's done. We'll be doing the high diving for the Worlds later in the year. And we'll see him on the 10 metre board, but you never know. The Worlds. Right, the first of the 4.5s from the main protagonists here. Noel Williams, our current leader. Now, what would it mean to him to get a 90+ score on this?
Almost there from Noah. He threw the head down on the start, just there, rushed into the tuck shape, and he should have piked out. He came out in the right place, but he didn't pike out and keep his head up because his head was already down, and that caused him to wash the dive over.
51.8 is the score. Matty Lee up next will save his 4.5 till the very end. This will be his lowest tariff dive of the program, 3.2. Inward 3.5. was also his second most productive dive of the morning with an 81. We'll be hoping for a great return on this.
Thank you, Matty. Very nice. That was really nice, measured, steady, in with 3.5, but 80 points dead.
Very similar to what he did this morning, but not quite as good, marks-wise. A couple of 8.5s and an 8. Takes him up towards 300, very nearly there. Right, we were talking about the forward 4.5. Saw it from Noah Williams, only 51.8 for him, but again, it's worth, if you get big marks, worth 90 plus, maybe 100 plus. A lot to ask, but these are international caliber divers, so we'll see Tom Day trying to pull it off. Maybe Matthew Dixon can.
Now this is quite a new dive for Matthew Dixon. That's why we're seeing a couple of errors in this list. It's kind of falling apart there. He comes out early, and the water greets him on his face. He's not happy. You can see there by his face. Big head shake, and over to the coach.
It's work in progress.
Disappointment.
Yeah. It's not there yet by any means, but he'll, by the time we see him later in the year, I'm sure that will be looking on point. Oh, Carl Cathari. Apart from that second round, I suppose the third wasn't as good as he would hope, but great start. Hasn't managed to maintain it so far, though. Back 2.5 somersaults, 2.5 twists. Is in 6th place.
Good technique on the start. Really nice. There you see the jump into the pipe. Got his hands on the finish. Really nice back twister. 86 points.
Really nice mark.
Stellar job. He's going to be happy with that.
Yeah, 89 he started with, 86 in round 4. So that will hopefully improve his position somewhat. Now, at the moment, it says Thomas Daly 2, because he's not leading, but he should be off the back of this. It's something he normally does very well. Wasn't quite as good this morning, the arm stand. It's normally one of his banker dives, I'd say.
Yeah, I'd say at Tom's level, all his dives are banker dives, maybe bar the front twister. But anything can happen.
Arm stand back, triple somersault from Daly.
And he cruises the dive over. It doesn't look like he's very gathered today in this final. He's done some really nice dives, but that isn't the normal Tom that we're used to seeing. That's a drop there, and 304 points. That gets him.
Well, top 4 separated by 15 points. Here you go. Look at this. 304 leading, 299, 290, 289. Matthew Dixon not far behind at 282. So, yeah, 22 points separating the top 5 with some big tariff dives still to come in the last 2 rounds. Room for a lot of change in order here. You bear in mind the 3.7 and 3.6 is still to be done by some, including Matty Lee and by Tom Daly and Cathari as well. They've all got the bigger dives to come yet. Alfie Brown down on the 5. In case you were looking at the 10 and going, where is he? Well, here he is, but 5 meters further down. Back 2.5.
Now, that wasn't bad, but better than this morning. Just not reaching back enough there from his tuck shape to get that entry. In fact, I tell a lie, that was good this morning. It was someone else I was thinking of, but no, his 2.5 back on 5 meter was actually better than that this morning.
That's the only dive we will see that's not on the 10. Every other dive will be on the 10, has been on the 10. Now, Ewan McCabe. Oh, it was gone quiet behind me this time. Got so excited on the last one. Back 3.5. Oh, yes.
And this kid knows what he's doing. That's good. Bit of splash being thrown up, but again, very confident. He really goes for the start. Nice into the tuck shape. Just unfortunate that he kicked slightly late, and that causes him to over-rotate.
56.10 for him, but it's a great experience for a 13-year-old. Not everybody can be Tom
awesome.
Daly at 13, can
exactly.
Aidan Heslop now for Plymouth, another of the Plymouth divers, who is in touch with the top 3, is 4th, but as we mentioned, top 5 are separated by a negligible amount. 3.3 back, 3.5 somersaults for the 16-year-old from Plymouth.
Now that was a good dive. It was quite far away from the diving board there. You can see him jumping back and then moving back as he's spinning through his tuck shape. But good on the water.
66 is what he gets for that, with one more dive to come, which is his equal biggest dive, 3.6. Back 2.5 with 2.5 twists. Well, after the great promise of the morning, it hasn't quite worked out for the Romanian, but great experience for him. An ultimate round dive will be the inward 3.5, which is 3.2, as indeed his last dive will be.
There's a nice distance from the diving board. He got it spinning well, but he kind of threw his arms behind him in the repike, and that caused him to over-rotate that time. His head position was perfect, actually, but the arms throwing back into the pike before the entry caused that over-rotation.
67.2, well, in a top 3 position at the moment, and still in a position to challenge with 2 3.6s to finish off his program. Noah Williams, the forward 4.5 didn't quite work out for him. This is the back 3.5, worth 3.6.
Noah, unfortunately there, he jumped back, and on the back 3.5 pike, you just become a passenger, and that, unfortunately, is what Noah would call a coffin lay. He uses that word a lot. It's a training thing. It's not nice. That's going to hurt.
Yeah, that might be the end of his chances. I said him winning it. Not out of the range of top 3 yet, because nobody's really pulling away. Matty Lee, 2 big dives to finish. Forward 4.5 at the end. But round 5, which may give us an idea of where he's going to finish, is that back 3.5.
And Matty doing the complete opposite of Noah. Puts the dive in the right direction, doesn't spin fast enough, and then drops the legs on the come out. And complete opposite, but also not good, unfortunately, there.
They were changing the pecking order regarding the medals potentially here. The Heslop's moved to the top. Matthew Lee, Noah Williams, with still 3 to go. Yeah, Matthew Dixon. Again, if he could just finish off his program, well, he's got a relatively low tariff dive to finish, unfortunately. 3.2, but 3.4 here. Reverse 3.5. Which, if we got it right, is, well, 80 or thereabouts.
There's that consistency. He lands on his head. It's a good dive. He could have a more crisp entry, but that's being critical. It's a good dive. It's steady. It's 78. It's almost 80 points. Keeps him in the running.
Puts him in the lead, actually, at the moment.
360.
With 360. Heslop 355. Now Carl Cathari with his forward 4.5. We're waiting for somebody to nail one. We haven't seen a forward 4.5 nailed by anybody yet.
You haven't.
Maybe this will be it. It's worth so many points. Could make such a big difference to him. He's 6th at the moment, but get this right, top 3.
There he goes. I'm speechless. He disappeared.
90 plus.
He was slightly piked going through the water, which is why he doesn't get 8.5s from everybody. But the finish that he got was incredible.
85. Thought it might be up around 90, but 85.10. So where's it taking him? Taking up into 3rd place. Oh, a 7 between Dixon, Heslop and Cathari now. Now, ready to blow it wide open, though, is Tom Daly with his forward 4.5. And he has got over 100 on this dive in the past. Be a good time to do it now, wouldn't it?
It would. We haven't seen Tom's usual sharpness in this competition so far. Let's see if he can spice it up. That is more like it. There you go. That was much higher than this morning. This morning looked like he just came down onto the water with no room. And 99.9, very close to 100 points. That is more like the Tom we know.
Well, that has blown it wide open. He's now 44 points clear of the field. Just shows you one dive can make so much difference if you get it right, and he just got it right. 404. Well, you just put your money on him now, wouldn't you?
Well, you see that experience coming through here. You know, he dropped a couple of dives. They weren't necessarily big drops, but they did put him down out of contention for the lead for a second, and that experience that he carries is phenomenal, and his confidence is unparalleled.
He's got a nice cushion, 44 points to go into the final round with, so providing his back 3.5 doesn't let him down, then it looks like that will be Tom Daly's title. So it's 2, 3 and 4 are separated by 7 points. In fact, 2, 3 and 4 are separated by 18 points, so very close. Alfie Brown, back 2.5, 1.5 twist, big dive.
Oh, that was unfortunately just too slow. Maybe battling adrenaline in this final, but hiding it well. Didn't look like he attacked the dive enough at all to make it.
Be annoyed he didn't hit 300 though, 292.4. Alfie Brown. Ewan McCabe, so impressive for a 13-year-old. He's got, well, he's already got over 300, 308.2. Not going to quite make 400, but it's a tremendous advance for the youngster. Name to watch out for in the future, definitely.
Now, his entries are brilliant. His technique on the start was good, but he bent his knees going into the pike shape. But boy, am I impressed with his diving. Ewan is one to look out for the future, definitely. Great head on his shoulders as well. Good competitive mind.
Gives a wave, go on. Oh, he's gone. 380.20 for Ewan. That's a terrific performance from the youngster from Plymouth. And here's another, slightly older by 3 years. 16 years of age, Aidan Heslop. Very consistent, 83, 67, 77, 60, 66. Well, this is equal biggest tariff dive. Last one got him 77.
It's just not coming together fully for Aidan. He's got all the components there. The strength definitely is there, but I just feel like maybe the precision isn't there. Just slightly short, but he did everything right to nail the dive.
405.40 is where he ends, so at the moment he's only just over a point clear of Tom Daly. Obavici to finish his program and get ready for the rest of the year, doing things for Romania. So he keeps popping into Plymouth to do his training when he's in the UK. Back 2.5 somersaults, 1.5 twists for the Romanian.
That's a nice way to finish. Good dive, strong off the board. Nice collection into the pike shape, and good entry to 72 points.
Best mark right at the end.
Rounds it off nicely.
72. Best before was 70. Okay, Noah, you're in for a medal here, almost certainly. But what colour? Well, maybe not. Actually, 6th. You got, yeah. I was looking, obviously, at the early dives with the other 36, which put him slightly off the pace, didn't it? But that's recoverable because everything's quite tight.
He's got a big dive.
Yeah, this is big.
Hopefully he isn't too nervous. This is the dive in the synchro that he did one less twist accidentally on. Gets it right this time. That is really nice. I'm really pleased for him, actually. That's nerve-wracking when you almost not in control of the body, and getting the wrong amount of twists is something that is very scary. To even stand up there and do the dive is one thing, but to do it to that ability is another thing. Well done, Noah.
Well, he's moved in behind Aidan Heslop, 4:05 for Aidan, 4:03.90 for Noah Williams. So currently in second in this round, but neither of them are going to overtake Tom Daly because he's just there with them with one dive to go. Matty Lee's forward 4.5 now.
Matty again is just not coming together for him today. He's just, yeah, just the head's down. These are mistakes that need to be ironed out in the training process. Just made a move to the London program and needs to go back to the drawing board on some technical issues with some of his diving.
46.25 for Matty will mean he doesn't get a top 3 finish today, and he'll be annoyed with himself. He's a great competitor. Gives the air of somebody who's quite kind of laissez-faire and enjoys life, but he's a very intense competitor when he gets on the board. Matthew Dixon, 3.2. That's going to maybe slightly let him down. He is second after round 5, so if he can get the maximum amount out of this, could be second at the end too. Back 2.5 somersaults, 1.5 twists.
There it is. Great dive there. 1.5 twist into the pipe. All very neat and tidy. Bangs the finish on the end. And a steady 80 points.
Yeah, that's exactly what he needed. That's exactly what he got. Spot on 80. 440 means he's well clear of all the others apart from Tom Daly, who will be going in 2 divers' time. So they've claimed 1 and 2. Who's going to get third? Carl Cathari has the chance because he's got his arm stand at the end. It's worth 3.6. Just trying to do the old calculations in my head here. Yeah, if he gets 53, which he's more than capable of doing, he'll go above Aidan Heslop into second. Needs 87 to catch Matthew Dixon.
Oh, he somehow recovered that dive. It wasn't fast enough off the end there, you can see, and late, really late with the hand grab, but all the water somehow was taken down. It must have been down to a millisecond at the end of that hand grab, but he got the water and he took it all down with him.
And he's got a medal. He's in third place.
Not enough to go ahead of Matthew Dixon on 440, but puts him in a good position of 436.
436.20 for Kyle, 440.50 as you mentioned for Matthew Dixon. But here's the man of the moment who just needs 36 to take the British National Diving Cup in the men's platform. Back 3.5. We're not expecting 36, we'll be expecting maybe 86 on this from Tom Daly.
There you go.
And more.
Give it a 10. Give it a 10. That was great. Really nice.
Deserves a 10. Hasn't got a 10 to count yet.
There. Someone has accidentally put in a 0 there. I'm sure that's an accident from judge number 5.
Who are you, judge number 5? Malcolm Green, what are you doing?
Oh, Malcolm, my first coach, in fact. As
they've got to correct
maybe
that.
the 0 is close to the 10 on the J pad.
1. They put it as 1 now.
Oh. It's not 1, it's not 0, but it's both of them together. Back to a 0 now.
106.20 anyway. Let's not overlook the fact he's got over 100 on a 3.6 dive. The scoreboard's gone completely haywire now because it's got 9.5, 9.5, 10, 10, 0, 10, 10. Somebody ought to get a picture of that because it looks ridiculous. But he is ranked. Obviously, the computer, maybe the bulb's gone out on that or something, I don't know, but it's really weird that it's up as a They're trying to refresh the board, and it still
doesn't like it.
It doesn't like it at all. But
nonetheless, 106.2. That is an awesome finish for Tom. Goes over 500 points, Matt. He's done this many times before, but with some of the dives he's had in there, they weren't as good. And to still get 500 is very admirable.
Well, let's look at that. 99 in round 5, 106.2 in round 6. So whilst he may not quite have been on point up to that stage, 99, 106, last 2 dives, 205 points for the last 2 dives. Ridiculous.
Awesome.
Well, we will hear from him, just get his breath back, having a quick chat with John. And we'll bring you the clarified results once the computer sorted itself out. We can tell you that Tom Daly has won that by 70 points. Let's hear from the winner of the men's platform, Tom Daly, now with John.
Oh, Tom, we're live. Hello, hello. Our final champion of the night, Tom Daly. Yes, finished now. Competition over and done.
Yeah, no, it's nice. Now I get to go and have a Chinese with my family, so I'm looking forward to that.
A great way to celebrate. I love it. I mean, a nice start to your sort of 2019 season. You've got to be pretty happy with a lot of the performances. Still stuff to work on?
Yeah, still a lot of stuff to work on. And I mean, everything's there or thereabouts, and I'm making things. It's just about sharpening things up and getting things ready to be... I mean, I don't really want to be getting the 10s on everything right now. You know, World Championships is where I want to be doing that. But, you know, for right now in the season, I'm happy to go. I think I went over 500 points. I'm not entirely sure. I know that
we'll find out soon,
I don't know. Yeah, I'll find out soon. Although I did get a 0 on my last time. But yeah, anyway.
We'll wait for the judges' results.
Exactly, exactly.
I mean, you are such an experienced competitor. You've been in this position at every level of competition. How do you get, you have such a good game face. You always seem so calm. Like, how do you stay in that zone?
I love competition, whether it's Monopoly, Scrabble, or a diving competition. And I think that's something that is innate inside of me, of being able to get into a competition and try and hold things together. You know, it doesn't always happen because, you know, at the end of the day, we're human. But we do lots of things in training to try and replicate competition, whether it be our basic dives. We have a competition, or over Christmas with an advent calendar, the person who won the competition on one single dive won the chocolate at the end of the day. Things like that. And then we also play table tennis. And we play table tennis to try and you know, beat one another and hold our nerves. So we do lots of competition practice.
Yeah, I mean, I just had word that your final score is in 106.2. Nice.
Okay, great.
For your last dive, of course.
Okay.
No, so I do believe,
because I know that they were. I think they were scoring it, and if it was the judge was a 10, it would have been 108.
108. There you go. I'm not doing maths.
But
I'm terrible
I
at
don't
maths.
think they managed to change it.
You see, this is the competitive streak he's talking about. We saw it the other day with the duck challenge.
Well, because 108 is all 10s to count. So, you know, it's the maximum points.
Yeah, of course.
Different, you know.
I mean, look, mate, it's been brilliant having you down here. What's next? Looking forward. After your Chinese, that's your last dive. There it is.
Interesting. They don't use the FINA scoring system.
Interesting. Controversial.
You know.
Controversial. TBC.
Yeah.
TBC.
Anyway.
Anyway, besides your Chinese, obviously that's you're out to celebrate. What you got on the rest of the week? Just back to training, heading in?
Yeah, exactly. Back to training on Wednesday, I believe. So we've got a couple of days off just to chill out a little bit, and then we'll be back to it.
Nice. Well, look, best of British.
Thank you very
what?
much.
I've got the camera working
Yay!
now. I know it didn't yesterday.
We need to do that.
So we're going to get your photo up there. Congratulations. Please tell us where. Hold on. Yes!
There you go. Yay!
But don't go anywhere. I'm going to get you to sign that. And because it didn't work yesterday, we're going to get Maddie in because we need you guys up on the wall as well.
Come on, Mary.
Come on, Maddie. Get involved. We love it. Big smile for the camera, boys. Congratulations. There's your Sharpie. So that's you, Tom. If you're right, you're 10 metre up there, and then you guys 10 metre synchro. Sign that. We'll get you up there with Best of British. Congratulations. Have you had fun this weekend, Maddie?
Yeah, no, I have. Yeah.
Oh, hold on. We can't hear you. You had fun this weekend?
I've had a good weekend. It's been tough. You know, things don't always go right, but that is the sport.
These things happen. It's diving, isn't it? It's diving.
Absolutely.
Look, congratulations to both you boys. Thanks for coming and joining us. Thank you to everyone at home. Look, we got some of the divers. Come on in and join us. Come on in. Come on. Look at this, everyone. Get involved. I also need to say, come here. A big thank you to this lady. This is Jess. She's the hardest working person in the building. Also, a big thank you to this man here. I couldn't have done it without him. Chris Mears, the man in the know. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you to everyone at home who has joined us for Deep End Live. It's the first time we've done it. Hopefully we'll be back soon. But don't forget to tune in British Swimming Championships and the British Para International Swimming Meet in April. That was Plymouth. That was the British National Diving Cup. You all had fun? Yeah. Yay! See you next year.
The latest in tech suit innovation. Frictionless fiber construction. Surface lift technology. Endo compression cage. Seamless exo shell. Tier Vinzo. Battleborn.